All right, I hope this video finds you doing well. And we're going to talk about section 2.1, slope and graphing. Yesterday, you were asked to do section 2.1, 2 through 18 even. Hope that you did those with no problem and were able to watch the even homework worked problems and were able to get everything that you needed out of there. I'd like to go a step further today. I want to back up a little bit and have a little refresher about slope, and then also a couple more examples in graphing. This is the work that you'll be doing today. This is the actual sheet that will be or is on your Google Classroom, and you're going to be doing all of these on your own. So let's go to work. First, in the first section, we are finding the slope of each line, and when we are given a graph, in order to find the slope, all we have to do is count it. So I start at the leftmost point, and I've got to go over 1, and that was my run. My run was 1, and now my rise is down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was down 6, so a negative 6 over 1 is a negative 6. Again, when we have a graphed line, all we got to do is pick 2 lattice points and count your rise and your run. If you wanted to be specific and you wanted to say, hey, this is the point, negative 3, 2, and this is the point, negative 2, negative 4, and then use the slope formula, you'd be welcome to do that, and you would see that you would get the exact same answer. And we're going to move on into slope formula. Here we're going to find a slope through each pair of points. So we need to remember that we need to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if you want to label the points, x1, y1, x2, y2, and then just plug them into the formula where we get 16 minus y1, which is 15. Put that over x2, which is negative 16 minus x1, which is 18. And that gets me a 1 over a negative, 34. So a negative 1/34. Negative 1/34. Now, remember when you have a negative, that negative sign can either be at the top or it can be on the bottom, or some people would even put it right outside of the fraction bar, and I don't care where you put it there, but it can't be both, because if it was both, that would be positive, of course. So I just out of habit like to put it with the top one, even though it was on the bottom one. It's fine. I want to do one more of those because I like finding slope through 2 points, and I'm not really big on the labeling. Matter of fact, I look at my y's first. So we look at number 6, and I pick up whichever one's bigger, and I start with it. So I would go 10, this 10 right here because it's bigger, and then minus, I would minus the other 10, which is a negative 10 in this case. Well, since I started with this 10, I got to start with this 15 on the bottom. So 15 minus 18. So that gets me 20 over a negative 3, and that's my slope. I would like you to do the remaining 8 of those just as a quick refresher. You should be able to get pretty quick at it. So one more time, let's go number 7. I would go 17 minus a negative 20 over 9 minus 3, which is 37 over 6. Okay, so you do the remaining 7 of those. On the back page here, we are going to graph, and these first ones are given to me in slope-intercept form. So I can start at the end with my y-intercept is 1. So I plot that. Then I look at my slope, which is really 4 over 1, and I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1. Now I could have remember 4 over 1 is the same thing as negative 4 over a negative 1. So I could have went down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then left 1, and end up with the same line. Notice positive 4 over positive 1 is the same thing as negative 4 over negative 1. I do want to address number 16 because 16 is given to us just a little bit weird or just something looks off. And I hope that you recognize that and realize that this is a special function. But what's off is that we're missing our x value. And I'll come back to that in a minute. But we can still start with our constant. Our constant is our initial value, or our y-intercept. So in this case, sorry about that. Go away. There we go. Our y-intercept is 5, so I can go ahead and plot that. Now, what's missing here is a 0x. So what's my slope? 0. I want you to become comfortable with this, where you have y equals a number is a horizontal line. Okay. And then you can do the remaining, 6 of those, 21 and 22 are also in slope. Ooh, and 24, 23 and 24. Those are all in slope-intercept form. I do want to talk about 25 and 26. These are in standard form. When I have them and they're in standard form, the first thing I need to do is I need to get the y alone. So 2x minus y equals a negative 1. I'm going to subtract 2x minus 2x. Now, cancels over here. So I have a negative y equals, now that 2x and the 1 can't go together, so I just write them down next to each other. Negative 2x minus 1. Now, y may look alone, but it's not. There's that negative 1 in front of it. So I got to get rid of that. So I got to divide by negative 1. But remember, when we divide by negative 1, all we really do is change all the signs. Now it's in slope-intercept form, and I can graph it quickly. My y-intercept is 1. My slope is 2, or 2 over 1. So up 2, 1, 2, over 1. Up 2, over 1. And there's my line. I'm going to do one more of those and let you have the rest. Okay, so if I look at number 26, I have 5x minus 2y equals a negative 6. So I got to start by getting rid of the 5x. Whatever I do to one side, do to the other. So I got negative 2y equals a negative 5x minus 6. Still need to get the y by itself, so I got to divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2 cancels. Y equals, again, here's where I like fractions. 2 doesn't go into 5 evenly, so I can just leave it as a fraction. 5 over 2. Now, negative divided by negative is a positive, and that's why those disappeared. And I got to bring the x down. Now, negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a negative 3. Now it's in slope-intercept form. What's my y-intercept? Negative 3. What's my slope? 5 over 2. So I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2. Good. And there's my line. I would like you to finish those out. There's a total of 32 problems here, but I think at this point you should be able to get them done relatively quickly. Have a great day.